Well, g'day folks. Today we're going to talk about choosing a partner in a relationship. And one of the mistakes a lot of people make in this situation is that they don't have a list of must and must not haves in a partner before they get one. Now, the problem with this is when you find a new partner and the hypnosis takes over, you get completely distracted. Now, the hypnosis is at the start of a relationship when everything is good and exciting, and you get drawn in and sucked in because it's nice to have someone to care for you. It's nice to have someone to do stuff with. So you get all excited with the new relationship, which is the hypnosis, and you realize, or you don't realize, that it's not actually, or they're not actually who you really want. You've just kind of settled for whatever you could get because there was no one else around or no one else to choose from or whatever it might be. Now, the problem with the hypnosis is that after a while you get stuck with the egg, which is the person you chose because there was no one else around and no other options. After a while, it becomes too hard to get rid of the egg or too hard to get out of the relationship. And all you can see is the egg. So there's nothing else. There's just this egg. There's just this person. Your mind is then closed for other options. So because your frequency and your mindset is just stuck with all the problems you have because of the egg or because of your bad decision, you can't see through and out for other options because your whole life is absorbed up with the problems you might have or the things that are not quite right, that you can't see anything clearer other than what's in front of you, which is the egg, which makes it a lot harder then to see new opportunities to come in. So it's very important that before you get into a relationship with someone, you have a list of musts and must nots. So things that you must have in a partner or things that the partner must not have. And if they have these things or don't have these things, it's going to make your life miserable and harder to get along with, and and not as fulfilling as it could be. And these would be things like, if your partner drinks too much, or if your partner doesn't drink enough, or if they're not into fitness, or they are into fitness, or they're too loud, or they lie, or they things that they must not do. And if they do, that your relationship's not going to last long term. Or things that they must do to help you know that this is the sort of person you want. You have the same beliefs and the same mindset towards different topics. So don't be afraid when you meet someone to go out with them, to do things, to get to know them, to have some fun. But don't be afraid at some stage to, in the back of your mind, have this list of must and must not haves. And if your partner has these things or doesn't have them, depending on what your list is, don't be afraid to say, look, it's not really working out, we can stay friends, whatever it might be. Because if you don't, and if you're afraid to pull out, you can get stuck down the track. A few years down the track, we might have kids, or you might have bought a house, or a whole bunch of other things like that, which then makes it really hard to get out of the relationship. So make sure that if you get a partner and they look like an egg, that the egg is what you're after. Because once you get them, it's harder to get rid of, and it's harder to find new things, and it's harder to get in your relationship when you have this thing that's blocking the whole time. Because you never know. You might want an egg, you might not want an egg. But if you've got one, it's going to make it a lot harder if you eventually realize that what you do want is not an egg, and it's actually a rubber stamp. Well, there you go. Now, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, or click the subscribe button, or put a comment below on what you think, or if you've got any thoughts on what I just said. Stick it in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.